Yes, it's me, Credit Dread. I'm back. And what have I got this week for you? Right, I'm coming back with a new bag for Dayz Standalone videos. In this episode, we're looking into the possibility of a Dirt System in Dayz Standalone. This is something that would work great either as a mod or something official by Bohemia in the future. The system could be used in all survival games as well. I've just chosen DayZ as it would work really well due to how its displays operate. This I'll elaborate on in just a minute. So, why have a Dirt System? Now, I know this has got nothing to do with killing other players and zombies, but being able to get dirty is a massive aspect of survival that is really true to life. Put it this way, as you know, we all take it for granted that we have fresh running water and power that drives machinery to wash clothes and ourselves, but take that away, and I'm sure we'd soon be down the local park washing our clothes beside the ducks, and everyone else would be there as well because we have to wash our clothes and keep clean, otherwise we get sick and we die. And for example, if we'd been going through some horrible nightmare of surviving with no utilities, some of us would be looking pretty dirty and really messed up, and probably one of those people would be me, I guarantee you. So I think it would make it more true to life and the survival aspect to implement it. This would create a lot of interesting challenges and new content in maintaining cleanliness. Also, I think it's pretty easy to get the dress code at the moment. There's always a lot of clothes available, and you can always go through different bits of clothes, and it's quite easy to get the stuff you want. It's just a good crowd pleaser though. I understand why it's there. Though, if you wanted to hold on to certain items, it could be more challenging to create a responsibility of maintaining your clothing so you can make more decisions and compromises when holding the gear. One more point as well before taking a look. I think this also has great potential for something that would help build communities, but I'll elaborate on this later. So watch this space. This is the Dirt System.
Here's the pitch.
So here's an example of the actually, I don't know what to call it. I think I'm just going to call it, it's called the item information box. And in the item information box, you've got loads of different sort of information. They've recently just put in weight recently, which I think is really cool. But the main thing you'll see in there is the damage system. And I think that the Dirt System could work the same as the damage system. Though with the damage system, obviously you've got to get hit to make it degrade, where the Dirt System could be more of a passive thing. If you crawled on the ground, for instance, and you crawled about the dirt, you could accelerate the process. My best case for something like this would be something like a slow-moving timer on items that could speed up when your character's crawling across the floor. I reckon nothing too fast though, something that could change the amount of dirt every 1 to 3 hours. Now also regarding your character's health, because it's just dirt, it wouldn't affect you that much in the early stages. You would just look messier until you enter the later stages where your health could be affected for neglecting yourself. So let's go down the table. We've got some nice pristine pants here, and after a while of running around or crawling through the grass or searching for stuff and brushing up against certain obstacles, you could have stained. This is the equivalent to worn in the damage table, and yeah, it's not too bad. You know, you've got a few stains here and there, mostly grass stains, some stains from spilt drink on you. You've been running around for a little while, so it's beginning to show a little bit, but it's nothing too serious so far that it has to be handled. You're just looking a little bit messy, and your clothing's telling you, or that particular item of clothing's telling you that it's dirty a little bit, or, you know, you might need some attention later on down the line. This is what it could look like in the character overviews as well. You're pretty stained up in places. It's pretty evident that it's not totally pristine clean. You've just got some bits of colour of dirt and green and stains off drink coming through in places, and just little bits of patches in places. The next stage is grubby. Now I hope I've kept this in context, because grubby is a word that's used at times to describe an item that's getting dirty or becoming unsatisfactory. It's like someone saying to you, should I wear this? And you say, oh, I don't know, it's looking a bit grubby. Rather than, oh no, that's disgusting, put that down. So I've always thought it was kind of a word that isn't particularly used for describing that you're totally dirty, but it's sort of a word that's saying that, yes, I'm grubby and I'm unsatisfactory, but I'm not particularly all the way to, oh my word, I look really, really dirty here. Does that make any sense, or am I wrong here? Please correct me if I'm wrong. So with Grubby, your character's dirt's increased, and it's getting a little bit more shabbier on the sides, some new patches coming in, getting a bit darker in places, and more browner, and some nasty colours coming in. So yeah, you're looking pretty on your way to getting pretty nasty, and you might run into some serious problems soon in the future. The next stage down the table is dirty, which is literally you're dirty. This is the equivalent to badly damaged on the damage table, so at this point you really need to start taking action, either to change your clothes or clean the item. For the character, you disgust me. You've got to a point now where you are really bad and you're really dirty. You just got multiple patches and you're really getting really black and filthy looking. I think this could affect your health in a certain way as well, where maybe it's not sending your health down, but it could actually stop your health from progressing. That's my best pitch for it anyway. So your body's working overtime just to defend yourself from the bacteria in the dirt and higher levels of toxicity going into the body that stops your progression in health. Though I'm undecided on how many dirty items you'd have to wear for that to come into full effect. So give me your input, guys. Tell me what you think. And now for the bottom of the dirt table. Filthy. Now this is just my opinion, but I reckon that the damage to the clothing and the damage table could be affected due to how much dirt there is, but I think it'd have to be extreme dirt such as filthy until anything gets affected or starts to degrade in damage. My personal input to it would be once it goes down to filthy, then it goes down to worn and then starts to degrade over time, but that's just in my opinion. And going back to the character tab now, and bang! Yes, you're at such a bad state now that if anyone came across you in game, they'd probably press F6 and shout, "Scam! Scam!" Or they'd probably just feel very sorry for you or something and give you an orange. So at this stage, if you got items which have got horrendously dirty to this level, it's really going to affect your health and you run the chance of getting sick. I can imagine you could get a wide range of sicknesses from dirty clothes, but it's really down to how in-depth the devs are going to take the game. Either that or how in-depth the modding's going to get. But also bear in mind it could be difficult to too much effort to develop this system. You need to consider that it works off an opacity system, so to have it in the game you'd have to layer it with a damage opacity system as well, and this could clash when rendering it in the game. Either this, or it's only possible to render one opacity layer in the game engine, which of course is already taken. So moving on to cleaning up now, what kind of items could you find which would help you clean your clothes? Now I'm going to cover just some basic items that could be brought in just to clean some clothes on the go, but by all means, if it advanced, there'd be more advanced methods into cleaning stuff and more advanced processes to clean a mass of clothes or a bulk of clothes, but you've got to bear in mind that there's no infrastructure, there's no running water, there's no electricity, so there's no machines to do it. So you're kind of going back into the medieval days of finding a stream and then cleaning it from there. So I think a must-have item that you could salvage from the ruins could be a box of washing powder. This is just your general over-the-top washing up box, over-the-top colours, over-the-top graphics for the marketing value. What else can I say about Waz? Yeah, it's a product imported into Chernarus, and it can get your clothes from filthy to pristine in just one magic wash. 30% more from every box. Collect 4 boxes and collect the tokens and you can win a holiday to the 7th layer of hell. Yeah! Something like that anyway, guys. So once we've found our washing up powder, we need a container to wash our clothes in. By all means, I think you could use streams or ponds, but as the powder would dilute into them, you wouldn't get the best result. I think it would be great to wash your clothes in those places, but it wouldn't take you back up to the very top of the dirt table. To get it back to totally clean, you would have to find a large container to get a quality wash. So when thinking of a larger container that's also portable, my best suggestion would be the Firebucket. You could find these at fire and petrol stations, craft the handle with the rope to tie on the side of your bag, then when you need to make the wash, you put the bucket down by a water source, fill the bucket full of water, put in the powder and wash the item clean entirely. Unfortunately, there is a catch though, as if you take the item out, it would probably come out soaked, and you'd have to wring that and leave it to dry somewhere, or give it some time to dry in your bag. So that's the Firebucket. It's a nice piece of equipment that you could easily get hold of. You could use this for loads of other purposes, but I'll touch on that in other videos. And lastly, the wash system could also play a huge part in building survival communities. I'm sure the server wipes will soon come to an end in time, though in order for camps to develop to be more active in important places, more content needs to be created that's based around teamwork. I really feel that washing clothes would fit in well here as an activity for the camp. This could be done by just starting simple. For example, you could craft a bucket with a campfire tripod and heat the water for a bonus, or to wash more items before the water is dirtied. And from using the teamwork of the camp, you could bring in more equipment to craft more advanced washing systems. Then from whatever you craft, you could laundrette the clothes with greater volumes and results. That's why this would be great. You could have players making their wash areas, their wash tents or wash houses. Depending on how organised the groups get, maintaining the gear might be assigned to members of the camp, or they do it as part of their duties. Because as everyone's experienced in the game, there are players that just want to torture and kill each other, but there are also people who want to help each other and build to operate things. These people need to be catered for as well. Even looking further into the future, if you had trade posts, for instance, you could have markets with stalls selling weapons, but you could also have a laundrette that offers services as well for travellers wanting to trade and also get their clothes cleaned. That's my rant for it anyway. There's also washing the skin as well, but unfortunately, I've run out of time, babies. So yeah, it's for another episode, and I'll come back with more models and some more concepts for washing the skin and what you can expect from that as well. So yeah, excellent. To finish off, thanks to everyone. And if you want to view the models in more detail, I've got them posted on P3D. I'll leave the links below. And if you like my videos, watch more of them. Got loads more concepts out there. And subscribe as well. Trust me, it's going to be good. And take care out there, guys. All the best.